I don't know what you can say, but shame on us. Shame on the fact that we have not developed programs and have not worked to help the homeless, to help the military vets, to move miracles, as I would call it. Now, of course, you've got the other homeless people. Some of them are vets, who the only way that they can hide from the pain is by drugs. They got to stay on that high, that virtual high all the time. And they fight, they steal, and they walk the streets. They sleep in gutters and parks. What do? Well, in some cases, some cities, and I won't mention my hometown, they make such a big deal out of it, out of cleaning it up, not helping, not giving a helping hand, but running out charities and, of course, getting rid of those terrible, terrible homeless without actually figuring out how to do it to successfully move those people back into the communities. No, they find it's easier to deport them. Let some other town take care of them. Move them out. Give them a free bus ticket one way and tell them if they come back, we'll arrest you. Is that the way we treat the homeless? I don't know. I don't really know. But I do know that people are spending thousands and thousands of dollars in government and getting very little done. The children are still upset and crying or screaming for their parents to come back. While as smaller charities are making a difference. Isn't that interesting? Smaller communities like the Matthews House, who worked hard for over 9 years working to get grants and putting together fundraisers and working with business, can turn things around. Yeah, they literally turn things around. Isn't that amazing? And they do it because they want to do it, because they feel that they can make a difference, and they do make a difference. So, what does this all mean to us? What if you needed help? What would you do? What if all of a sudden you were sleeping on a city bench? What would you do? What would anybody do? We don't think about it too much, but it's happening every day. Support is what's going to make the difference. Helping hand and figuring out how to stop the violence, how to stop the drive that makes homelessness affordable for some. How to get the drugs off the streets. That's a good question, isn't it? Well, the state of Washington, as we all know, and many states in the United States now have said marijuana's fine. Let's use it as a recreational drug like we do, unfortunately, beer, wine, or whiskey. Let's tax it. And then part of that money will go back to help the homeless and get things rolling. It's a shame the state of Washington hasn't, after all the money and taxes they've collected, shown any results. It's a terrible shame. The homeless are still out in the street. The mental problem is still going and the drugs are flowing. But I'm not going to get into all that because it just starts discomfort. And when I start bloviating over this issue, well, some people do get upset over my views. So I'm going to step back for a minute and I'm going to talk about the other people. The 10% of the homeless that live out in the streets. You know, the ones with the big sign? Oh, I don't have a home. They have their children sitting there, a little bottle of water. Their pets are right there, and they're petting them, and it looks so wonderful. A home set, but you cry in your heart, and you want to give them money. A good story that I can tell you about is a few years ago, I knew a gentleman, good guy, who was a manager of a bowling alley in Des Moines, in fact. He had a big sign. It was huge for the bowling alley, and a lot of times he would find people standing there with a cardboard sign underneath his sign. I need help. I need work. My family's starving. I have no medical. I'm sick, or whatever. Interesting, isn't it? One day he went outside and he said, "Hey, I've got an idea. Let us find you a job in my business. I can give you X number of dollars and get you started with some benefits, and you can work your way up and feed your family so you don't have to stand out here." The father of the group looked at the gentleman who was a manager of the bowling alley and had the authorization to do that, and said to him, "Are you out of your mind? I make at least $500 to $700 a week standing here. I only work 25 hours a week, if that. I fought for this corner. This is big dollars out here. And you want me to give it up to work for a few bucks an hour? Why would you do that? Why would you do something like that? My family's doing just fine." The gentleman went back in, called the police department, set up an arrangement so there was trespassing signs put up. Went out and informed the next group that was standing under the sign that he would have them trespassed if they didn't move on. He felt bad about it, but he said, and I quote, "If they're not willing to work but to steal the money from the public with a lie, I'm not going to allow them to be on my property deframing my business." Weird, isn't it? I really think, though, you got to think about one thing, and that is time's running out. If the communities do not take time, slowly, taking time and listening to the dings of the hours going by or the minutes to work on this problem, there is not going to be any solutions, folks. There's going to be more burglaries, more murders, more families on the rocks, and more problems ever than before. Time is running out. Please get involved. Check out some of these organizations, such as the House of Matthews. They're always looking for support. Or give our good friends at Absolute Ministries. Let them know you care and you'd like to help them. Or, in the case of Trish and Pat, their new foundation, we'll be talking about more. In fact, we're asking our podcast to be centered around these individual leaders and have them come down and talk about what they're doing, what help they need, and why they're doing it. Well, this wraps up my show for today. I just wanted to get in and talk a little bit about the homeless. We're going to have interviews, hopefully in the future, with homeless individuals on the show and people that are really interested in helping in the community. I'd like to give a quick shout out, if I can, for my good friend Lori Marsh. You know, Lori's got quite a business. It's called Restoring Hope. And she works with assisted living communities, finding your loved one somewhere that they can make the final move, one that's great for the family and the individual loved one, where they can get memory care or skilled nursing facilities and help and resources from VA benefits to DHSH benefits. Lori does it all, and she's a wonderful Christian lady. I want you to do a favor. Think about this for just a moment. If you have a loved one in your family that needs help, why don't you contact Lori Marsh? She is the coordinator with Restoring Hope. Give her a call at 253-576-1094. That's Lori Marsh with Restoring Hope. And tell her that Bill on Keeba Live told you about her. And that'll be great, and we really appreciate it. One of the groups that we work with is the People, Business, and Java business networking organization. And they want you to help us join and make a difference. We're having, what they are doing is a bus drive for Matthew House. And what they want to do is they want to buy transit tokens so that individuals from the programs that the Matthew House operates, they can have transportation to get to those schools and meetings. And it's very needed. It really is. So please, you can send Candace Thompson at 1426. It's 1426 77th Avenue Court East, Puyallup, Wash 98375. Send her a donation of $5 if you can to buy a bus ticket for the Matthew House, or House of Matthew, House of Matthew. Great donation. They want to raise $500 so that a lot more people can have the transportation to get involved in their program. Last but not least, before we wrap up the show, I'd like to say the next time you see a serviceman in their uniforms, maybe in a restaurant or at a grocery store, take time to thank them. It's a simple thing to do, is to thank them for their service. Okay, everybody. Well, that is today's show. And we really appreciate you being here. I appreciate you very much having an opportunity talking with you. So until we meet again, I'm Bill with the Keeba Live Podcast. So keep us smiling. And remember, everybody can make a difference if they really try. In your community today. So long. The Keeba Podcast brought to you by SouthHillNightout.com. The Wild Child Group, Candace Thompson, your business accelerator. And Ricky J's, the place where you stop for the food and stay for the fun.